Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second floor. My name is Omid. I am your co-host. We don't have Kenny today. We have a special guest today. We have Troy Meier. Troy, thanks man for coming on the show.
All right, man. Thank you. This is the sign for thank you. So thank you for having me on, boss.
Thanks. Troy, I just want to get into your story, man. I think it's super sweet. I think where you're going and where you're at is kind of awesome. So I would love for you to kind of give our guests what kind of a brief little bio on who you are and what you're doing.
All right, man. Well, like you said, my name's Troy. Where to begin? So start beginning. So I was like 5 or 6, diagnosed with, I guess, hard hearing loss at a young age. Yeah. Remember living in Kamloops. Grew up in a military family. She started there actually. Moved around lots. Lived in Kamloops. My mom said something was kind of off. I don't know what it was, but something wasn't clicking for her. As a typical mom, get that emotion from your kids. So took me in. I ended up going to like a padded room, and they're like, yeah. So at the end of it, they're like, Troy's got hearing loss. And bring up to date right now, it's progressive. I wear 2 hearing aids. And it's kind of strange because people that see me with hearing aids think I'm deaf, but to the guys that I play basketball with, I'm not deaf. So I'm stuck in that gray area where I don't know where I belong still. Mm-hmm. So, but we'll get to that. So that's basically where I'm at right now. And then, as life goes on, I'm kind of figuring out who I am, exploring this whole weird journey of being a dad, getting a job, becoming a new athlete again is my big 3 right now. And it's scary to me.
Yeah, no, and I wanted to get into that because a lot of people don't know we played ball for many years together.
Yeah, a long time.
Yeah, very long time. And to be honest, I had for a long time I didn't know that you had hearing loss. You just seemed normal to me. And like you said, like when you're playing ball with the guys, they don't really like know, and you're just kind of doing your thing.
So I'll tell you even a better secret.
Yeah.
I had a hearing aid in high school. My mom would make me wear it. As soon as I got to school, that shit was in my locker. Never wore it.
Really?
Yeah. No one really knew I had hearing aids. No one really knew I had hearing loss.
Yeah.
So everyone, like some of the teachers knew, but they didn't care, to be honest with you. Like it's like I laugh about it now, but I'm like, man, maybe I should have wore them and like actually pay attention in class, and I wouldn't be where I am today. I might be a little further in life.
Yeah.
But like there's a lot of people who didn't know that I wore hearing aids.
Yeah. And playing ball, how did that affect you personally and kind of mentally? Just having hearing loss and kind of being almost ashamed of having it because obviously you wanted to hide it.
It didn't really affect me because I didn't care.
No?
I was athletic.
Yeah.
I could dunk a ball. What's more cool than like dunking a basketball to most guys? I was like, okay, that dude can dunk. Like, let him be.
Yeah.
So it never really bothered me.
Yeah.
Wasn't until about 2014, 2015, my hearing loss started kind of getting the best of me. I started like speaking up my wife, my mom, my dad were like, hey, turn on the TV. Hey, why are you yelling at me? And I was just like, no, I'm not yelling. I was like, oh crap. Okay. So as like 2016, I went in. I was like, yeah, I got one hearing aid. I barely wear it and stuff. And then, so go back into that same room that I like been in and out of as a kid. They come out and I'm like, all right, like I just need one. I'm good. She goes, no, you need 2, Troy. And I'm like, man, okay, cool. Can I get like the little one that goes inside your ears? She goes, your hearing loss we think we do better with these ones, the ones that go over the ear.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, okay, all right. At the time, my wife was pregnant. And then I was like, oh man, like this is such a headache and stuff. And I don't want to be labeled as special.
Yeah.
Because growing up, I was also labeled as a special ed kid. Yeah. I was just very ashamed of that because I was like, man, I just want to be a cool kid. I want to be a regular person.
Yeah.
Nah, Troy, you go to the special ed programs. So my whole life I had a label. Maybe not to my peers or to my to my family.
Yeah.
But to the outside world. Oh, he's got this. He's lazy. He can't do this. So, and like growing up, was never ashamed of that.
Yeah.
So back to the whole thing, man. It was strange when like I actually had to wear my hearing aids. And then one game I remember like just thinking to myself, like I was able to like, the zone you get in, like the Kobe zone they say. I'm in that zone all the time because I don't hear the crowd yelling. I don't hear certain volume noises because I get so focused on one thing. That's all I concentrate on.
Yeah.
So it's really weird to say like I'm a special athlete and stuff, but like to me, I don't think so.
Yeah.
And also when people like a couple years, was it last summer, spring, or one of the seasons, I wore my hearing aids during the game. And someone just came at me and called me and goes, "You deaf motherfucker, you ain't guarding me tonight." And I was like, okay, it's on.
Oh, wow.
It's on.
That's...
You just made that personal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I scored 30. He scored 1.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like,
That's...
yeah, I don't like, that just like really makes me mad. Especially when people like call out handicapped people or people with like disabilities and stuff. Because I'm just like, and then like, because people don't see my hearing aids or they don't recognize me with them.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, look at that guy." I'm like, dude, come on, man. Like, I'm deaf.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
So does that... So we had... a couple weeks ago, we had Bean Gill on the show. And she's paralyzed. She's paraplegic from the waist down. And we asked her, when her first couple years of, being paralyzed, and she said everything would bother. Like at the time, it would really bother her when someone was like, "Oh, what did you do to your legs?" Like really, really arrogant, like really, really, like asking questions that offend or just say statements that would offend her. She's had it for about 6 or 7 years now, and she's completely changed her life, and it doesn't bother her as much now. When someone says a statement like that, or someone talks to you in a way where maybe they ask you a question about your hearing loss, does it offend you as much? Like, does it offend you?
It never offended me, man. It
No?
never offended me because growing up, in the IOP programs at the time, like a lot of people say, "Oh, idiots on patrol. You're just a dumb motherfucker."
Yeah.
And I grew a hard shell, man. Like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay, whatever." Like I laugh it off. I'm like, "All right, whatever, man. I'm gonna do something that's you guys will never be able to do, right?"
Yeah.
So I became an athlete. And I wasn't the best athlete at the time.
Yeah.
And then growing up, all of a sudden became 6'2", this gangly guy, like had no control over a body, man. And then I went to the States. My parents put me through a basketball camp to the States. Got my ass whooped, man, for 3 whole weeks. It was just like a bunch of like these dudes were better than me at everything.
Yeah.
So I came back and then I like started grinding. And that was the first time that I was like, man, the struggle was worth it. And I was like, I don't care what people say, man. I literally just got my ass whooped for 3 whole weeks to get to where I'm at. Like, I'm not gonna let your comments bother me, and if you are, whatever.
Yeah, and it sounds like you're using more of it as motivation. Like you're kind of turning that kind of as like, well, I'm gonna show that I'm better than this. And
it was just like, so like in grade 10, I was like in a special program.
Yeah.
I went to the principal's office and said, "Hey, I want to take one class. If I pass that class, can I switch out of that program?" And he says, "Try and make your deal. You get 65. You can go in the regular program." And I was like, "Okay, cool. It's on." So I got 70 that year. And that's when Don Phillips was my social teacher. Yeah. So I had 2 goals, right? I wanted to make the senior team, show him what I could do, and get out of the special ed program.
Yeah.
So that was like a motivational 3-4 months out of my life. I remember studying. I never studied. I remember studying for that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's awesome, man. So, how did ball kind of play a part into this? Like you said, you kind of got into that Kobe zone, and I know that zone where you just kind of like zone out everything, the crowd and everyone. You kind of get into the zone. So, did your hearing loss help you actually play better, or
yes, yes and no.
Okay.
So, I'll take you to what I did last, 2 weekends or last weekend? Whatever, it doesn't matter. So I played in the Silent Voice tournament, part of Team Canada. So played in a tournament, completely deaf guys. There's some hard hearing guys, but mostly deaf. Quiet. I will say I've never heard that quiet a place. Because everyone's signing. You might hear occasional someone because they never heard themselves, they'll be like, for the ball, and that's because they've never talked. They don't. Yeah. So I was like, okay. So and that's been like my past couple months of training with them and doing all that. But I'll tell you, when I played grade 12, when I played in Kamloops, one of the Kamloops bigger tournaments, man, the place was erupting. It was definitely 2 zones, and then I'll get lost. I'll get lost when it's super loud. Yeah. I get lost because it's just like my ears, like I can't pick out one sound. I'm trying to look for one sound, one voice, to like so I can make eye contact with them.
Yeah.
And it's like that today. Like, but when I was with them, it was free flow. Everything was visual. Everything was eye contact.
Yeah.
But to say, hey, someone's coming behind you, ball, 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 ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super weird. I remember like, so we got a game video of us. I was clapping for the ball, and I'm like, started laughing at myself in the video. I'm like, oh, that's right. 3 of the 4 guys can't hear me.
Yeah. So you have to use almost nonverbal communication a lot more. Because you can't say, hey, here, or there's a pick coming there. Because I know for me, when I play ball, I'm very vocal. Like I'm super vocal. I'm like, pick on the right, and I'm yelling at guys like all the time, and I'm telling people where to go, and like I'm super in it verbally.
Yeah.
But with that tournament like that, you have to be so nonverbal. So how does that work? Like, what are certain things that you would do in games like that?
So like
maybe stuff that wouldn't be like a normal person wouldn't.
I came in as a very normal person to like a lot of these guys. Oh, he can talk. He uses his mouth.
Yeah.
But that doesn't work because we can't communicate. They know sign language.
Yeah.
I'm picking up as I go. So that's like it's just like a change. It's weird. It's like learning English all over again.
Yeah.
But I understand body language. Grew up, if I sat in the back of the class, thousands of noises, teacher trying to get something back. Okay, he's gesturing to that. That's got to be important. Okay, cool. Write that down. So then I picked that up, and now everything's by eyes. Or they simple points, jersey drags. I've never gotten someone literally this weekend told me there was a pick coming, grabbed my jersey, pushed me, and pulled me to fight over the pick. Because I didn't see it coming. Yeah. So just as they were setting it, it was like boom and pull. And I was like, okay, that means there's a pick coming. Okay, and it's new to me. So, yeah.
Interesting. Very, very interesting.
It's been a struggle though, because sometimes I can't, like, I'm like, hey, if you come up to the high post, it's free. It's right. Easy money. But me saying this and doing this doesn't always translate to that.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, what are you saying, Troy? And I'm like, oh, that's right. I don't know ASL. I got to learn this. So it's been a struggle where when me and you play basketball, it's like, hey, high pick coming. Just go over there, stay over there, ISO.
Yeah.
So it's been a challenge, but I've been loving it though, because it's brought in the best part of me out almost.
Yeah.
A side that I wasn't able to express, or people just didn't understand why I was doing it.
Yeah, and you're taking ball pretty seriously now. Like you went, like I know after high school you went and played at Olds.
Yep.
You killed it there.
Just one quick season.
Yeah.
I did in 10 class. I was there to play basketball. So, and then we can go off of that. So after that, I did wildfire. So I did forest fires for I think 3, 4, 5 years, and then had a kid. So I was kind of nervous that I didn't want to be out of her life. I wanted a schedule, because with wildfire there wasn't much. So I was like, well, okay, cool. Like maybe I'll get like a big boy job. So I became a tree surgeon or an arborist, depends on what you want to call them.
Yeah.
So I was able to see my kid. I was playing a lot of basketball. I mean, like it was on.
Yeah.
So I was kind of getting back to that place where I was almost better than I was in Olds. Well then, okay, cool. So didn't have the resources to play basketball at that time. So my money was getting tight. All of a sudden I was like, dang man, okay, cool. Like I'll just slow down basketball. And it hurt. It hurt because it was just like, man, like one thing that I loved so much. It's got me since I was like 13 to now to get through my life.
Yeah.
It's always been a consistent. Just me dribbling basketball. As you know, me sneaking into service when I didn't have any money, stealing wristbands.
Yeah, I remember those days, man.
So like that was like, it was gut wrenching. But I wanted to be a dad.
Yeah.
So I decided not to play basketball for one whole year. And it pissed me off.
Yeah.
So I would like go to the gym.
Yeah.
I didn't play too much, but I was 200 pounds. I was getting fat, to be honest with you. I wasn't.
You focus on being more of a dad.
Yeah.
You focus on family life.
Yeah. It's awesome. If those guys can do it, man, I don't know how those guys can be that dedicated to their family stuff and not want to work out, not want to do stuff. But that's never been me.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I'm not the best dad and stuff, but that's who I wanted to be. So I picked up writing. Writing filled the void for about 3-4 months, and I was like itching. So then I would literally like tell my wife like, hey, Like, I'm gonna leave you with the dog and kid. I'm gonna go shoot hoops at the local school.
Yeah.
So I started doing that. Then we ended up moving back here. Played 1 year spring league. Played Div 2, a little higher. I averaged like 16 points and something else. Like, I was still doing the damn thing, but I didn't work. I wasn't working out.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I was getting fat.
Yeah.
So I knew playing basketball without a reason wasn't really for me at that time.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like, okay, cool. Like, so this time I finally adjusted to like having my hearing aids in every now and then, because I still take them out when I like work and stuff. So that happened. And the transition I was like, what am I gonna do? So I emailed the school of the deaf here and said, hey, like, if there's kids that want to play basketball, like, I'd love to help out. Sure. Okay, cool. Couple emails later, kind of lose touch. I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, maybe when school picks up. So we ended up going on a family holiday to Texas. This time, me and my wife talking. I'm like, hey, I'm not gonna play this season. She's like, okay, cool, awesome, yay, more time with dad. Yeah, you can babysit more. Well, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do more research, learn about deaf basketball and stuff. All of a sudden, I see a thing on the internet, tryout. Okay, weird. All deaf and hard of hearing athletes welcome. Okay, so I emailed the coach. So we start talking back and forth, and he wants my audiogram. So I send him my audiogram, and I'm like, kind of waiting, like, patiently, like, come on. Like, what do you say? Troy, everything's good to go. Come.
Oh.
So yeah, so I was like, okay, cool. It's here in Edmonton, and like, this is a brand new world to me. I've like never associated with people that are deaf, hard of hearing, nothing.
Yeah. Because
growing up across Canada, being in a military family and stuff, so that was like huge. I was like, oh man, like, what am I gonna do? Like,
yeah.
Like, I'm nervous. First time I've been nervous since like high school tryouts.
Yeah.
Walk in there, just balls bouncing. You take 60 basketballs and you just bounce them.
Yeah.
No one really talking.
Yeah.
Everyone's kind of looking at you because you're not part of the community.
Yeah.
They've never seen you before. And
Yeah.
I didn't play the Canada games. I didn't play it at a couple of the other events or anything. So all these guys have been in the program since they were teenagers.
Yeah.
So they all know each other. So me walking in, I look like I might as well have been wearing a pink uniform and dyed my hair green, because everyone was just like, okay,
yeah,
all right, like, who's this guy?
Yeah.
So, and they're all signing and stuff. So I felt a little left out, alienated.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'm proving to everyone I'm making this damn team. So me and another guy, coach goes, yeah, can you guys run a pick and roll? So we run a pick and roll and a give and go. 2-man dunk. Boom, in front of everybody, just to make that statement.
Yeah.
But the thing about that statement was, you know, people like get hyped when you do something crazy. It was quiet. But these young kids and the young men, they had smiles from ear to ear, like, ooh.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is a weird feeling. This is new to me.
Yeah.
So then, like, I got to know some of the guys, and yeah, so I made the team. I made Team Canada Deaf and Hard Hearing. Well, now I'm an athlete now.
Yeah.
Okay, well, now start training.
Yeah.
So then I trained basically from October to January to go to Toronto, first training camp. I meet the other team members. Man, they're some of the best basketball players I've ever met. Like, someone like the best guys I've ever like seen the game played. And it's crazy because they can't hear you, but they understand what's going on before it happens. Because they're so tied in and visual.
Yeah.
That everything is step 1 to step B is so flawless.
Yeah.
And then, so like I said, so we take away a month. I got hurt, pulled a muscle, then got an infection. So I was on antibiotics the last 2 weeks. So I was just like, okay, I kind of pulled a little bit of the dad bod. Went to like back to Toronto, played in the Silent Voice, man. It was a cool experience. One of the best experiences I've ever had, because it was quiet, man. It was cool, like, and the games weren't supposed to be competitive. They're all fun, but they turned out to be more competitive. Got to see the U21 team play. Like, there's some really good talent there.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, they need more resources for coaches and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I played against like the older like Toronto men's team.
Yeah.
Man, they're a bunch of fun guys, like laughing and making fun of us. And like, unfortunately, I can't understand when they sign. I can pick up things here and there.
Yeah.
But you can tell they were having fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then I played team, because we did team split up. So we played Team Canada White versus Team Canada Red. One of the funnest, roughest basketball games I've ever played in.
No way.
Like, it was crazy. Like, college, like, it's probably one of my top 3 games.
Yeah.
I've played them.
So what was that moment like when you made, Team Canada for for this team? Like, what was that when you walked in the gym? You were nervous and you wanted to prove something because nobody knew who you were. You weren't part of the community. You're kind of in this blurred line. So making Team Canada is a huge deal, right? And after that, what was the regiment like after?
So the first feeling, I was like, oh crap.
Yeah.
Now the training begins. Like I remember my family was upstairs in the school, like watching me play. I had a pretty good showing in our scrimmages. I was just like, okay, all right. We went to Boston Pizza. I was like excited and happy, but I realized that I was like, okay, starting tomorrow, I'm gonna have to go to the gym. Okay, like all right, like we can do this. So my regiment I was still working out of town, doing 10 and 4s for the tree company, and I was like, all right, see what we can do here. So I go to the gym for like 2 hours, like workout, run. That's all I did. Played a little basketball here, but I realized I wasn't getting enough basketball in, and I missed my kid, I missed my family, was just missing being around everyone.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, cool, I quit. I'll get a new job. So I ended up getting a job here at the Edmonton Airport. Totally uplift my life, just so I could have a better regiment.
Yeah.
That was the scariest thing I've ever done in my life. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm Troy. Like I'm Timber Tree Troy. That was like my longest name on Instagram. Chainsaws, cutting trees down. Loved it. But to do something that was bigger than me, that was more important. And that was scary. And then also it was like, okay, so me and my shooting coach, 6:30, Monday, Tuesday. Okay, cool. Go play ball by myself. Maybe play a little bit of pickup or just shoot around twice a week. But in between that, I'm working out 5 to 6 days a week.
Yeah.
Running, lifting, doing skipping, you name it, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So it's weird because, and also I don't get sponsorships or anything like that. So it's strange to me that like people look at me as, oh, Team Canada athlete, like, yay, like you made it. Hey man, like mind like donating to us or like, helping us out? No.
So they don't really like, how does, I guess, I know we were talking about it before, but how does there's probably not that much budget that they give towards special, I guess, the teams. Like, I don't know, would you tell me like how does the budgeting work? How much do you guys need to actually have a proper training camp and season and tournaments and all these things like that? And what do you get? So like the way I look at it is like the Special Olympics and Invictus Games and all that, they get like Paralympics, they get like a bigger budget, like they're on TV and stuff, where like a lot of the deaf athletes aren't, that I've witnessed. Like maybe someone else has, but I've yet to see have our own games on TV and stuff, which kind of bothers me a little bit, because even if I wasn't part of the community, I'd be like, okay, I made the team. Like, why can't my showcase be on TV? Yeah. Why is that though? Why is that? That's a good question, because I don't know the answer. I'm trying to figure out that answer by doing my own thing. Because that's a big thing. Like Special Olympics is huge. Yeah. There's so many different categories, and people celebrate these athletes, these wonderful athletes that are super gifted. And I'm all for it. Yeah. I'm all for it, but then like, how come we can't get extra training, and how come we don't have, I shouldn't say like a shoe contract as a whole, but why don't we have that? Yeah. Why aren't we sponsored by Nike, Adidas, or like some small company? So, and that like kind of really has bothered me. Like, I'm like, man, like I just want to help these guys out. Like I was like, okay, if I never make the team, and the Deaf Olympics is coming up in a few years, so I don't know if I'm going to be qualified because my hearing's not as severe as it should say needs to be. That's a really bad thing to say, I guess, but it's just like, but I can go around the world and travel to all these other in-country tournaments that allow hard of hearing athletes. So it's one thing that I'm like struggling with is this whole like, okay, how do we get these guys to get to the next level? Yeah. As you guys would say, elevate to the second floor. Absolutely. So how do we elevate there but a lot of these, like, there's not a lot of money either. Yeah. So it's just one thing I've been struggling with internally, because I'm a shoe geek. I'm gonna tell you, I've got like probably 9 pairs, and I'm like, man, like how come we can't give the spotlight to like some of these other deaf athletes, just not in basketball, but swimming, badminton, and like all this other stuff. Yeah. So it's just one of those gray areas, I guess I would say, that I don't know enough about, and I want to learn more because I want to give the spotlight to these people. Yeah, yeah, and I feel like you want to do that. Like I feel like basketball is giving you that route where not only you're doing what you love, but now you're able to look beyond yourself and see like, what can I do for the community?
Yeah, so like growing up, like playing basketball, like I wasn't part of the class that got recruited like right away.
Yeah.
As you know, my class was a pretty stat class, guys. I could probably name 5 of my hand.
Shout out to all those guys.
Yeah, seriously. Like I remember playing against them when I was in Olds, and they were all at Nate, and I was just like, "Okay, there's 5 of you guys who I played at service against.
Yeah,
you guys all went to Paul Kane."
That was a legendary time, man.
Yeah, like
all those guys were so good.
But I wasn't a part of that. Like I had schools interested in me.
Yeah.
But none of them being like, "Hey, just come. We got your spot on your team. You know, you're gonna have to work for your spot on the team."
Mm-hmm.
So I did.
Yeah.
So then after that, I was just like, I was playing for myself. I didn't care who you were. I was a big man on campus. I was coming after you on your spot on your team. Now it's totally different. Now I don't care if I score 2 points. I just want to win. I want to win because, you know, as you know, in April, we're headed to the American Championships. And all I want to do is win. So, you know, like I want to win for myself. I want to win for my dad. I want to win for my wife. I want to win for my kid. But more importantly, I want to win for those guys.
Mm-hmm.
And be like, hey, St. Albert Gazette, we won.
Yeah.
Where's my piece in the paper?
Yeah.
Let me expose myself for this wonderful group of guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's crazy. And I was just like, I don't know how to say it properly, but the whole process of this thing's been like chaos for me almost.
Yeah.
Because I know I got to train for tomorrow, and I hope those guys are training too, and I hope someone's training harder than me.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like, it's been a whirlwind of emotions lately for me.
Yeah. And where do you, I guess going into that, like, how's the balance been like, you know, being a father, you know, raising a family, and also, you know, pursuing the passion of basketball? Because I know I, for a very long time, was pursuing this obsession with basketball, and you know that I was always in service every single day. I was like overtraining myself. All I was thinking about was trying to get to that next level with ball.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had to really sit down and come to terms with where I was trying to head, and it wasn't sustainable for me. And I had to make that hard cut in my life, kind of cut the mistress off. As some people would say, because I loved it. I love ball so much, just like you. So with you, how is it been like going through your journey and balancing all these different aspects of life and mishmashing it with ball?
So like I've been lucky enough, like my team, like whether it's my family and a couple friends, have been like super supportive of me in this journey.
Yeah.
So I have always had that to fall back on. My family's a big thing, whether it's my wife, kid, mom, dad, my sisters. I have a huge like
great.
safety net for me to fall back onto. So that's like that, and like they let me do this, which is kind of weird because it's like, I like basketball, man. Like, come on, like grow up, Troy. And I'm like no, like I don't really want to grow up. So the balance it's been easy but hard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not shooting hoops at 7 o'clock with most of the guys my age, or I'm not playing men's league like most guys my age are playing basketball.
Yeah.
I'm waking up at 6:30 in the morning to shoot for an hour, run home, grab my kid, and we're going right to Good Life, because Good Life has babysitting or daycare. I'm there, so that balance has been unique in a way.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's been really nice that like the people that are super close to me have let me gone to work out, have let me gone to put my jump shots up. And it's kind of a weird balance, because some days like I'm like, I gotta rest. Why do you need to rest? I always ask myself that, like, why do you need to rest? Because I used to, in a summer camp, we used to have a thing on top of your roof. It says, you know, train while your opponents are sleeping. And that like has like stuck with me. I'm like, man, if that guy's running, I should be running. Because I don't really know where my end goal of basketball is going to be, whether it's, hey, this is going to just do 1 year and then you're going to do something else, or you're going to do 5 years here and you're going to become a coach. Because ultimately, as any basketball player, we want to turn pro. And I'm not saying I'm going to turn pro, or even if I want to. It's just that's the end goal. That's always going to be the end goal of an athlete. It's just get to the next level. So trying to balance work, life, having a kid, trying to be Troy. It's definitely been the hardest thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been a good balance, because I've like my dad's like, hey, like, let's go to the gym and work out. Some days I don't want to work out.
Yeah.
But you got to.
Yeah.
Or, my wife knows, hey, at 6 a.m. this morning, you got to go to basketball. She'll wake me up. Some days I'll be in a deep sleep. I won't hear my alarm. She'll be like, I thought you had to go to basketball. And I'll be like, yeah, I should, yeah. But even though, and then I'm a trainer, where are you? I'm 5 minutes late, man. Okay, cool. We're going to make you do sprints. So, like, I've had a good support system, and I'm very lucky that even my friends, I can, like, text them, like, how's basketball going? It's usually one of the first 3 or 4 questions they ask. How's basketball going? It's going good. I'm tired. Like, the one feeling that people don't understand, whether they're in school or working, you're always going to be tired. It's what you're going to do while you're tired that, like, is the most important stuff. If you want to be successful, you're going to be tired. You're going to be sore. You're going to be sick. You're going to want to struggle. You're going to want to be like, I quit. It's so easy to quit. And that's one thing, when I was young, I was able to quit. It was easy to quit. All right, whatever, we'll do it tomorrow. But now it's like, okay, if you don't do this, you're not going to do this tomorrow. If you don't do this, you're not going to do this 2 weeks from now. If you don't do this, you don't do that. So that whole, like, and I'm been like kicking myself in the mouth some mornings where I'm like, I don't want to get up. I don't want to. Really. Why do I got to get up? I got to get up. It's 5 more minutes.
Yeah.
Well, then. Yeah. And like that whole you're okay with life is definitely not okay with me anymore.
Yeah.
I like feeling comfortable. That's one thing I love. And I love just like that life hitting you in the mouth. I'll be honest with you. I don't mind it. Because I was like, yeah, it means I'm still here. Let's rock and roll. Let's get going.
That's amazing, bro. Yeah, no, I feel exactly the same way.
And
it gets tough sometimes, but having that support system, I think, is huge. Having those people around you that are, those little things like getting that text from your trainer, getting that text from a friend saying how's ball going, getting that, that little nudge from your wife, saying, hey, I thought you had ball. Yeah. Those little things are huge.
Yeah, like not only are they huge, the reminders are like, wow, you're doing it.
Exactly, your purpose.
So that was like, it's like, hey, like I may never make $1 from this, but I might change someone else's life, or I might get them a little bit of attention that, like, hey, like my trainer, he's like, dude, I want to help out more.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's figure something out.
Yeah.
So it's just like by someone asking them if how's it going is like a huge game changer, I find, because it reminds me, okay, cool, like my friend's got my back.
Yeah.
But I got to have his back by showing him I can do this. So it's been, again, another whirlwind of emotions because I don't know how to repay them when they're like, yeah, keep going, man.
Yeah.
Like, thanks. Like, it's so hard because you don't know what to say.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, how can I? So I want to win. So I want to do a lot of the community. And I want to win games, and I want to get back to those people I owe it to.
Yeah, and I wanted to get into that just a little bit on the kind of the final note is, elevating obviously yourself as an athlete, but then elevating the community as well. So how is, what kind of impact do you want to leave on the basketball community or the community in general, but then also as an athlete?
So that's something I've been really struggling with, honestly. Because a basketball player, yeah, I'm pretty damn good. I can outball most people.
Yeah.
But I want to do something more than that. I want to bring attention. I want to bring sponsorship. I want to let these people know, hey, you can still play basketball for a living and be deaf. Or I want to be able to bring like, hey, yo, this kid can ball, man. Like, you got to come scout this kid out. I want to just do all this stuff, but unfortunately, I don't have the resources for that as I'm learning. So leaving an impact, even just a small one, can change the biggest persons and the biggest differences in people's lives, right? So it's one thing I've been trying to do a lot more of is just like, this month I made a goal. I'm going to take 20 minutes. I'm going to learn sign language, whether it's, TROY, that's my name, but I'm still learning. I'm trying to read more. I'm trying to give people the experience of things I didn't have, like coaching, friends, the motivation, the whole like reading. Because a lot of it I did on my own. So to having that goal there, to making a difference in your life or his life or their life, I'm okay with that. Like just a little bit of difference. That's all I want in my life. Because it's going to lead to maybe better things in your life. Or you might just say, screw your advice. I'm going to do my own thing. Cool. I want to let you know, man, I'm right here.
Yeah.
Like I see you, you see me.
Yeah.
So that's basically the main thing.
Yeah.
And then as a person who's like deaf or hard of hearing, I just want people to know that, hey, just because I can take these out, my life becomes very dull, but I can still talk to you.
Yeah.
You can still know me as Troy. You don't have to see me as a person with a disability or a person that's deaf. I just want to I just want to be treated like a normal human being.
Yeah.
Because most of the time I wear a hat, hides everything. Some people, when I take it off and will be eating because there's a whole bunch of noise, just bothers me. I just have to take it out because the sound is just so nitpicky and it amps everything up to what it's supposed to be. And I'm like, all right, this is hurting. And most people look at me because I have a little napkin out. I'm them trying to they're like, is he deaf? It's like, no, motherfucker, I can hear you.
Yeah. So
it's just, that's all I really want to do is just spread awareness and create impact, even if it's a small one. That's the main thing. So I've seen guys post stuff on Instagram now on my team. They're grinding.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because of me or because of someone else, but I was like, all right, okay, cool. Yeah. All right, you're locked and loaded. I gotta be better. I gotta be ready tomorrow. Because also, it's business too, right? As you know, the next guy's gonna take your spot. So by me saying that is okay, I gotta make myself better.
Yeah.
But I want to make you even way better than me.
Yeah.
Because I'm almost 30.
Yeah.
My time's almost done as a basketball player at that level. I want to keep playing at a high level. So, but I want the young guys to be ready to take my spot on the team. Because you never know, I might blow an ACL, get hurt, might have a second kid and be like, hey, I can't commit. So I want them to be ready. So just leaving those little memories, impacts, awareness is a big thing for me right now.
That's amazing, man.
Hey, man, it's a journey. So
yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Well, Troy, thank you for being on the second floor.
No, thank you.
Really appreciate it. I think we all got to learn something today. Anyone who's listening, I think they learned a lot today. Where can people find you?
Mainly just through my Instagram, man. It's Troy Loading, as I took it from D'Angelo Russell, because I feel like I'm just starting to load up right now.
Yeah.
So that's mainly where you want to hit me up there.
Yeah.
Mainly, it's just mostly Instagram. Hit me on Facebook, just Troy Meier.
Yeah.
You just find me somehow.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome, man. Well, thanks again for coming on.
No, thank you, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.